Okay. I think we're good. What's up, D? Good to see you. Whoops. Interesting. Select platform. What's up, Bridget? I don't know. Run is streaming currently. He'll be here any second, I'm sure. Let's see. How are you doing? Sorry we're a little late. Sometimes this happens just because of work. Well, somebody's here. Close that. Close that. That looks like a Will. Good day.
Hello, 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 hello.
He's raiding you now. We'll see it soon.
You're getting raided. You're getting raided hard.
Oh, yeah.
Hard raid.
All 7 of them. Or however many
11,
it is.
I think.
Oh, even better. Bisbee's sad about it because it's so hot out. Oh, thank you so much for the raid, Run 7. How unexpected. I've been here for an hour. Well, that was silly of you. I made the announcement that I was going to be late. Actually, maybe I didn't, but you should have just
Hello, B Ridge. Hello, B Ridge. Yeah, I think you mentioned it in Discord.
Are you playing Disco Friday?
I think I'm playing Prop Hunt with Ro.
Ooh. Depending on when my kids go to bed, I might join you. That raid is going forever. There we go. What's up, Hillary? How are you?
Hey, Mrs. Hillary.
What's up, Hotep? Good to see you. Emma, well played. Let's see. We need to download this. Download this.
We appreciate you, wonderful D, your commitment. Showing up an hour early.
She looks straight up depressed that she doesn't get to go outside. Why were you here an hour early, D? What's up with that? Hello, Run.
We usually start an hour earlier. Hey, Run.
Yeah, but I'm theoretically he would have just seen that we weren't here and.
No. He likes to just chill. You know, he's just chilling.
He's a chill guy. All right, we're gonna switch to that. We're gonna delete that and oop. Aha, that's old.
Will, I'm disconnecting myself from that voice channel, so just
yeah,
leaving you all by yourself over there, buddy.
Yep. Yeah.
Beauty. All right. Drink. I don't even know what's happening right now. All right. Close that. I guess I'll leave that open because we are going to need this. You're not wrong. People have jump scared me with head effects when I was not live. It is funny and super annoying.
My favorite is when you have like OBS running or something completely random. You're I don't know, changing a scene in OBS or something, and somebody just happens to sub to your channel when you're not live, like completely random.
Or anything
follow
pops up,
goes up out of absolute nowhere. You haven't even been live in like 2 days, and it just freaks you out.
That's been happening to me more and more when Hotep is live. Like, I think he's just shouting me out randomly to the ether, and people are just like, "Oh, I'll subscribe to that guy." I'm like, "Thank you." I redeemed Wordban, and you said run. I don't have Wordban active. Like, you're just making shite up at this point.
That sounds like Emma.
Yeah, actually, as I said, I was like, "Oh yeah, checks out." Let's see. There it is. Windstorm resubscribed. Yes, he's on time. Love you, Monster Hug. Appreciate you. You did, okay, in fairness, you did use the IRL ban for Run, but it was, hidden in behind something that I couldn't possibly have seen. So, well done. You got me, I guess. Brian, how was your mini stream?
Oh, it was super. I got through half a round of Backpack Brawl, and
Nice.
but I did get to talk with Mrs. Hillary about her her exploits, adventures, achievements. She's building a homeless shelter for kids. She's an amazing person and had an amazing story. So we get to talk about that for a little bit. And then cleaning agent came in, and I was like, I'm out of here. And then he followed me over here, and I just can't get rid of the guy.
He actually beat you over here.
Yeah, that was it.
All right. I'm trying to think. I'm sure there's something I'm missing. What are you guys thinking? It's already 9 o'clock because this is my late week. Do you want to just jump right into it? Do you have like 10, 15 minutes to just BS, or where's your nights at? How are you feeling? How are you looking?
So I don't want to be up. Actually, I can do whatever. I can be up as late as you guys need me to be up tonight.
I'm not going to be like up super late or anything. I just mean like, do we want to just jump right in because it is 9 o'clock and that's normally when we record, or do you want to like?
Yeah, give me like 60 seconds to get my background changed. I'm trying to find something that looks cool because Clean's got something making me really jealous over there with his background.
I just went back to the printer, that's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, please. I haven't heard BS all day long. All I've heard is BS all day long, it feels like.
I heard you were talking about TV shows, Run. I watched a show called The Rehearsal. Have either of you heard of
I
it?
saw the,
I have not heard of that.
tile for that. I haven't seen a trailer for it or know anything about it, but I did see the tile for it. It's got like a guy on the wing of a plane.
Yeah. So the second season's out now. There's 2 seasons, and it's I can't remember his name, Nathan somebody. He's a Canadian comedian who's done a lot of TV shows and things.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know a lot about him because I don't follow comedians, but he's super awkward, super odd, and his whole idea is, what if you had like something you really wanted to do in your life, but you didn't want to mess it up, so you had a chance to rehearse every possible outcome before going into that event.
Oh, really? That sounds cool.
Yeah, so he like finds random people who want to do random things. Like the first one is like some dude who's on like a trivia team, and he lied to his trivia team saying he has his doctorate because everybody else on the team did. And then kind of over time regrets it because now people were like sending him job applications that required a doctorate and all these things. So it's just weighing on him. So he wants to like sit down with the one person he thinks is going to like it might ruin their friendship because he lied about it. He thinks maybe they wouldn't take it well. Yeah. And so he like rehearses with him through all these different ways it could come out and happen. And then they go and actually do the live thing. It's super weird, super funny. It's quite an interesting show.
I will add that to my ever-growing list of TV shows to watch. I've got a couple things I'm on right now.
My apologies.
Yeah.
That was Rehearsals?
The Rehearsal. Mm-hmm. And then it just gets weirder and weirder and weirder. It's so funny. But I mean, I don't know if it's funny to me more because I understand like creating theater and rehearsing things, or if general public will really find it interesting as well. But I think it's a hoot of a show, and it's only like 6 episodes per season, so it's nice that way.
Nice. That's my super zoomed in. That's that one. Okay, so we can probably do this. Yeah, we can do that. Okay. Sorry.
No worries. Yeah, that's the only thing I've been watching, and I just got sucked into it. So I was like, "Oh damn, I'm just gonna crush all 6 episodes in one night."
There's only 6 episodes? Oh wow.
Per season. So yeah, 12 episodes total. And it's on HBO, I think.
Okay, I'll go. I will definitely check that out.
Yeah.
I just yesterday got the Elgato Prompter, which is super freaking cool.
Oh yeah,
but
yeah.
It's it also just made my camera like 6 inches further back, so it's just changed some of my camera angles and stuff like that. So
you got the Prompter? I'm so jealous of you. Oh
it's
my God.
so freaking cool. I have chat on it right now. Now, granted, our chat is currently being mixed with Bendable Straws. We've got like 207 people in there, so the chat's going to be stupid today. But
What's going on with that huge chat that everybody's merged into? Bendable sent me the link to join into it also.
Bendable's
So,
all about just stream
Bendy is
sharing.
playing Kingmaker and is just making people partners. So you just join in. You have to share chat, but you don't have to talk to each other. You can do whatever you want. So we're playing our own separate games. We're doing our own separate things, but we have a shared chat, and you count as having the same viewership as they do. So right now, my channel is getting 214 views.
Oh, wow.
So like theoretically, you only need 75 to get partners. So like that's going to crazy boost your numbers. The problem is the chat's going to be nonsense. You have to pay attention to what's actually like highlighted as opposed to what's like grayed out.
It's good though. We always ignore chat anyway, so I should be
Well,
fine.
exactly. That's what I was figuring. Like we're just going to be recording anyways. So like,
I wonder how long it's going to take before Twitch cracks down on that. Because
I
it
don't
seems
know,
like an
but I mean,
odd
there's-
thing to just force partners. But maybe that's what they want. Who knows?
there's a lot of people in MSF land that are just hitting partner these days. Like I know 3088 just got partner. I know Bendy's partner.
Yeah.
Hotep's partner like any day now. Like
Walt Mills, he got partner as well.
there you go.
Yeah, there's lots. There's lots.
Guess I should switch that there, but whatever. Don't tell them about it. Yeah, I'm sure they will never figure it out, Bridget.
How you doing, Stokes? Good to see you.
Honestly, Bendy is lurking us right now. Well, hello, Bendable. How are you, sir? Is chat ever not nonsense? That's your fair point.
Mm-hmm. Totes fair.
I
All
did
right.
just send Bendable Straws a thank you message for his invite. And the last thing Bendable Straws sent me was a picture of Taco Shooter's penis. And I wasn't really prepared for that to pop up when I went to chat with him. I was like, oh yeah, that happened. I forgot about that. Great big old penis right there. Okay.
So you just accidentally dick picked yourself.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I really did. Yeah.
Nice. Insert one above. Okay. So how do I there we go.
Yeah, I got my score for this movie. I watched it twice. I'm ready to go on this one. I'm ready to go.
I wanted to watch it a second time, and I just didn't get a chance to. I watched it in two parts, and I was like, I want to see this one all the way through at one go, and it just didn't happen. But it's probably going to happen after this review. I'll just do it anyways.
I fell
Maybe
asleep
that's
the
saying
first
too
time
much, a little
I
bit of
fell
a
asleep
spoiler.
watching it the first time, so I had to watch it a second time. And
Fair enough.
I don't want to watch it again.
Now, out of curiosity, for your in our chat, I sent a YouTube video, and you're like, I couldn't watch it because I was bored. But the video was about boredom, so I'm assuming that was the joke.
That was the joke. I also didn't watch it.
Fair enough. You're the best.
I got the gist of it, but I'd rather watch R rating or something, you know?
I appreciate that.
I've been listening to a few of our videos at work when I'm stocking shelves and stuff. When I get the chance, I do. But
Nice.
work's kind of been nuts. We've been having a lot of people fail miserably, and I've become the impromptu manager of the store apparently. And now I have to fix everything.
That's how it goes.
Green Tuckin wants me to ask Run 7 if he recommends that series. I missed his answer. I don't know what series we're talking about. I'm assuming you do.
Yes, Stranger Things, absolutely, Green Tuckian. And hopefully you missed that little conversation because there was a spoiler in there, and I actually made a joke about you because you literally asked, "Was it a good series?" And then Mrs. Hillary like gave away a big thing, and I was like, "Yeah, it is. It's a really good series, and now you know what happens to so and so." But yeah, definitely check out Stranger Things. There's Cleaning Agent says that there's a 3-part. Fourth season coming, fifth season, whatever, another season coming in
yeah,
3
whatever
parts.
the last season is.
Yeah.
Well, the last season's coming in multiple parts, though, right? It's not going to be one drop.
Three
Yeah,
parts.
that's what. It's just 3 parts. But I think they're only like, are they 2 months apart or 1 month apart or something? They're not like super long.
That I
Hopefully
don't
it's
know.
Too bad.
Yeah. I heard like the last one's supposed to be in December, and then kind of like 2 months before that, 2 months before that, or something.
Gotcha. All right. Shall we jump right into this? We can always BS afterwards if we want to.
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
All right. We will. Oh, I guess design. I switched down here. Switch the background so I know what to edit. We will. Oh, chat's already gone. Perfect.
Man, I could use that little prompter right now because this doesn't
Remember
go
your
where I need
script?
it to go. Yeah.
Honestly, I part of the reason I got it is because I am working on doing some reviews and stuff like that, and it was super annoying being like, huh. And I was like, cool. I don't know if this will actually be worth it for that, but it's cool for chat too. Anyways.
Here we go. Predator, Killer of Killers, 2025. This kill or be killed quasi-anthology touches on different times throughout history, following 3 skillful fighters who unknowingly must prove themselves by killing predators throughout time. Their reward, a chance at killing more predators at some other point in time.
Hey, Dan, did I choose this? Sorry, did I choose this background before or after you made the R rating background?
I mean, I made the thumbnail like 2 hours ago, so...
Oh, I just...
Or do you mean the sticker right beside you?
I picked the same background. Okay, sorry, my bad.
It's a cool picture. I'll give it to you.
It's a cool picture, yeah.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to R Rating, the show where I get together with 2 of my friends. We take a movie franchise, break it down by movie, give it an overall score, and throw it up on the board. I'm joined today, as always, by Will and Brian. Will, how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good.
Excellent. And how about you, Brian?
I'm excited to get into this. The Predator franchise is a huge favorite of mine, and so I'm excited. This is gonna be a fun one.
Nice. Now, out of curiosity, this movie's only been out for like 2 weeks, I think, something relatively short. So I've got to assume you watched it for this specifically, right? Will, this wasn't something that was on your radar necessarily?
I would have enjoyed watching this either way. I'm a fan of the Predator franchise as well. So in that regard, I would. And There is the new movie coming out. Is it at the end of this year as well?
Badlands. I think it's December. I could be wrong on that one.
So, and spoiler alert, I think they're going to be all tied together. So might as well watch this. Let's get it over with.
Fair enough. And Brian, I think you said this was your second time watching this one, right? So you probably watched this as soon as it came out.
Yeah, I watched this early on. I knew we were going to put it into rotation eventually, and so I real quick, as soon as this came out, I started watching it. And the first time through, I don't know, maybe I was in a funk or something, but it didn't really hit like I was hoping it would. I circled back around and watched it a second time and found it as good as I hoped. So I don't know what was the matter with me the first time. But we'll get into the details here, but I watched it twice because I love the franchise and the movie was worth watching twice for me.
Nice. Now, yeah, you'd mentioned after you'd seen it the first time, I was like, oh, I'm going to go watch it. You were like, lower your expectations. And I was like, oh, that's
I didn't want you running headlong
great.
like I did, thinking it was going to be amazing. And honestly, the second time around, I was like, I don't know why I had such a hard time with this the first time. But
I believe Will, I don't want to jump ahead of you, but you were making a comment right beforehand, and you've thrown me or you've led me astray before with some of the things you say, where you kind of throw me off track. So I'm going to throw my own comment out there.
Yes,
I did enjoy this. It was the coolest Mortal Kombat movie I've ever seen. Right? Like, there's not a ton of plot, there's not a ton of character development, but man, there is some bloodshed and there is a ton of killing. Right?
Lots of action. Yes.
Yeah, and like really cool action. Like I don't know that I necessarily need it to be in live action. Like the cartoon aspect of it doesn't throw me off. In fact, I thought the animation was gorgeous. I just wish there was a bit more to it than just like, here's 3 random strangers fighting their own fight and then fighting each other and then it's over. And you're just like, okay. Is that kind of where you're coming out from, Will? No, you're frozen? Is that where you're coming out from, Brian?
So I had a bit different take. I don't think that they developed the characters so much in this, but they did have good characters. They had characters I could latch onto that had an interesting story. They did kind of what they did in Prey. They gave us a chance to meet these people in each story. The first half of the story was just their story, what's going on in their life. And they developed that character. Was there a character arc, any kind of growth or change? Not really, I didn't think. But that's okay. That's not really why I was here. So it was cool to get to know these characters and figure out who they are and what they're doing and why they're fighting whatever fight they're in. And then halfway through, you'd go, oh yeah, this is a Predator movie, as a Predator jumps into the scene and starts battling. And I was like, oh, I almost forgot, because the stories of these characters was intriguing.
All right. Before I don't know what's going on with my computer. My apologies. I feel like we don't often R-rate movies that are so recently released. So spoiler alerts, I think, because I'm gonna just drop bombs. So spoiler alerts for anybody watching.
That's a very good point. This show is never spoiler free. So whether
Yeah,
you're watching it and the movie has just come out or it's going to be like a 10-year-old movie, we're going to spoil the crap out of it. I might warn you next week because we're going to be talking about 28 years later and it'll only been in theaters for like 5 days at that point. But other than that, like this show is not spoiler free, period. You've been warned. Good luck.
This is a show you come to reflect on what you've seen and compare and contrast with our ideas. And if you haven't seen it yet, we're going to ruin the movie for you.
If you have seen it, we might ruin the movie for you. Let's be honest.
That's true, yeah.
That's true.
All right, sorry, Will, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to make sure I dropped that because it's going to be very hard not to in this movie specifically, right? Much like Run, I didn't mind the lack of storytelling in this because it is a Predator movie, and it's all about the action. I mean, if you're going to watch a cartoon animated movie, there better be lots of action in it. And they didn't disappoint. And the action was very different in all three of these little vignettes or whatever. And the movie's like an hour and 20 minutes, hour 30 minutes. So like 20 minutes for each character and then a 20-minute finale that I think took a nosedive. But yeah, I didn't mind the lack of story because the point of it is the Predator story. And we didn't get a lot of that either, but it looked pretty fun overall.
Yeah,
that's
I have to
fair.
agree. It was a fun film. It wasn't anything that's going to change your life. It was in addition to the Predator franchise, and it was a little bit more of the cool scenes and sequences that we wanted without anything really ruining it for you, right? They didn't change the world. They didn't add much to it. We just got to see characters from different eras encounter different predators, and that was fun. And that's all I really needed. And I wasn't expecting too much more than that.
So Dan,
okay.
I want to talk. You're always asking the questions. I want to ask you a question.
Oh, I'm excited.
Because when we were, reviewing some of these Predator movies, you had specifically said you wanted a samurai Predator movie.
Indeed.
So was this a disappointment because it seemed to like rob that cradle from you and only give you a tidbit? Or was it satiating your needs?
This was a very cool proof of concept. I think this was a great way of showing you that, yes, this concept, this idea could absolutely work. Give me the Predator in feudal Japan. We saw the action and it was incredible. I would love for it to be fleshed out a little bit more. I'd love to have a bit more character arc to, like, we get 2 minutes of the two brothers at the very beginning, and that's kind of it. I assume they're brothers. He calls him his brother, but who knows culturally? Who knows? I would have loved a bit more. I would have loved a bit more character development. But honestly, we'll get to my biggest complaint with this movie later. But yes, it was super fun seeing the samurais, seeing the ninjas. I love the action of it. I love the little design of it. Do I need it in first person? Or sorry, in real life? I don't know that I do. I could be fine with it being cartoon. I do want it to be the entire movie, though, not a segment of the movie.
I agree with that. I think it is. I think this was a proof of concept. I think Trachtenberg, whatever his name is, Trenton Hugenbergen.
Trenchenbaum?
He's doing a good job of being like, hey, this is...
by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I knew one of you would throw rope to me there.
I let you hanging for a little while, but yeah, I had to help you eventually.
I just like that he's going for it. And this animated movie was a great way to do that because you could really go out there. You see 3 different eras and times. You don't have to costume all these people. You don't have to do all that. The aerial fight in the last one, like, just think of the CGI costs in that would be outrageous. So I think it was a great way to be like, hey, are people going to be down for seeing predators just getting juiced by different types of groups throughout history? Yeah, I think so. If you're a Predator fan, you want to see that. Now, did each of those come across successfully? I don't think all of them were as good as They weren't all top marks from me for sure. But that's just the way it goes.
Out of
Can't always home
curiosity,
run.
I have a pretty instant rating of the 3 time periods. Do you guys as well?
Yeah, Dan, what's yours? First, second, third. Which one do you like the best? Which one is the worst?
Mine would go Japan, Vikings, World War II. And like World War II is unfortunately pretty far behind Vikings.
Will, what's your order of-
Mine is actually the same. It's sword, shield, bullet for sure.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Sword, shield, bullet, and bullet is way below the rest.
And
My problem with bullet
yeah.
is my problem
No.
with bullet is when you've got the shield, the Viking story, you've got the Vikings who are warriors taking on a warrior. When you've got the sword story, you've got a ninja or samurai warrior taking on a stealth warrior. Both of those people are built for what they're doing. They've trained for what they're doing. So it makes some sense that they're fighting as well as they can against this creature. In the third one, you've got a kid who is not really a pilot, or maybe like a low-ranking awful pilot, flying a beat-up jalopy piece of crap in the air against technology he doesn't understand, figures out the heat thing way too quickly, but whatever. Technology he doesn't understand and somehow figures out a way to defeat it. Now, don't get me wrong. That scene with the bomb wrapping around the thing made no sense, but was super cool. But it was just this, like, I don't know, somehow, even in Prey, the female native warrior, something about how she took it on still kind of made sense in my brain. But in a spaceship versus a World War II beaten to crap airplane battle, I don't think it's even close. And that was a bridge too far for me.
I don't disagree. I think it was a bridge too far. It also, again, because they're truncated stories, you just don't have the time to expand on that enough so that he could figure out the heat thing and he could figure out how to fix all these engines that he fixes in 3 seconds. You know, all these items that it just takes time, and they just didn't have the time. They just went straight for the action. Now, that said, I was kind of hot and cold on the idea that Predators are fighting in the ships against other ships, because that's very different for Predators as well. They're always very much one-on-one combat with a being, not in vessels fighting in space or in the air or anything like that. So that was a very different take as well that we haven't seen before in any Predator movie. So what did you guys think of that specifically in the third story?
Well, okay, in the third story, him, just like Dan said, the ship dynamics was ridiculously one-sided. The kid didn't even, like, if the kid was a longtime ace pilot flying the best in their fleet,
yeah,
I would be like, okay, this is the epitome of the pinnacle of what they're doing. All right. And then to transverse into that ship battle instead of melee combat or one-on-one combat, that was an interesting choice. It didn't necessarily push me away. I was like, that's cool. I kind of got the feeling that the Predator pilot, was somehow wounded or damaged or something. He looked like he was half bionic, like he'd been replaced, and like he was like almost built into that spaceship, it looked like. And I was wondering if that was kind of like just now his thing. Like he used to be a fighter and now he's forced into flying, and so that's just his thing. I don't know. But it did look like there was something going on with him biomechanically. So I didn't mind that it was the pilot thing. It just bothered me that the kid was an amateur flying the biggest piece of junk ever against this ship that could literally just run through them invisibly. Like he could just ram them and they blow up on his outer hull. It was ridiculous. And then the other thing with Bullet that I really didn't like, and the second time it helped a little bit, but the first time I watched this, he climbs out on the wing of his ship to like kick the fuel pod off the wing, and he's out there like hanging on by like a hammer. It was so dumb. Like Mission Impossible has done the hang on the outside of the plane thing to death, and they're like pretty slow moving planes, and their stunt doubles are wired in with super tough harnesses in the first place. This kid's just like by his fingernails gripping this plane. I thought that was really dumb. The second time through, I did notice that he throttled the plane all the way back to its slowest setting where it would go without stalling. but it was still just stupid to me. No one's gonna get out on the wing of whatever the fighter is. I wasn't even sure what model fighter jet that was. No one's gonna be doing that. It was just too much for me, and that was just ridiculous. And then while he's falling off his own wing out there, there's this huge aerial combat going on, and he never gets hit. I didn't like Bullet. I just didn't like the direction that they went with that whole thing. It just didn't play out well.
I would agree with everything you just said.
It came across greatly that he was just needed for the Lucky Charm and just superhuman ability to function any machine that he touches, right? Like, and then you see that at the end.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
Somebody needed to fly the getaway plane.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and that to me, that bombed the ending as well for me. It's like,
let's go hunting, and then they all take off in a swarm, and you're like, well, they're fucking dead for sure.
Right? There's no way they're surviving that.
Him getting out of the creature with the technology hand, him getting onto the trike thing and flying
going straight up the
around.
wall.
And then him flying the big ship, like everything within seconds, he's got these things just down pat. And it's just, one, again, the ending seemed rushed because everything's like 20 minutes. It's very truncated. And then on top of that, it's just so forced that this guy is like, yeah, this is why I'm here. I can't do anything else, but get me behind the wheel and we're good. We're good to go. It just seemed too contrived to be all that enjoyable at the end, which is unfortunate because you want to come off high at the end of a movie, right?
Yeah. What do you guys think of the melding of the three people, right? The woman from the Shield, she is ready to just fight them to the death like she's supposed to. And the swordsman's like, no, I'm not going to play their game. And the other guy's trying to narrate for them, even though nobody speaks the same language. And then there's the scene when the kid's kind of standing there in a pose, and it reminds her of her son. And then she's like, you never got my boys. I felt that was a little rushed or forced. It didn't gel like it should have. What'd you guys think?
I didn't mind the character choices. I didn't mind their lack of collaboration at the start. Like I enjoyed that because it all made sense.
That made sense.
But but like the turns are pretty on a dime, and unfortunately they just have to be. There's no way around it. So I think I prefer that than maybe a 2-hour movie with an hour-long end.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's like it's a hit and miss on either side, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd rather keep the pace because the pace in the movie is quite good.
Yeah.
And the action is pretty good. So I'd rather keep that pace at that point and lose some of those. Oh, well, they could have maybe extended that, or they could have, melded it a better.
More minutes into the movie. Dan, what'd you think of that?
I guess.
Just the ending and how quickly they all bonded. The samurai made a bit more sense to me because they fought together, so they would be battle brothers, if not anything else. Calling him his actual brother, so be it, whatever. The Viking warrior who was just all of a sudden like, oh, those are my boys and don't avenge me, was kind of like, I don't know that she would have made that turn quite as quickly, but what do I know? I mean, and in her timeline, maybe she just lost her boy like that afternoon. Like, we don't really understand. And that actually is my bigger complaint with this movie, because it actually feels like it changes Predator lore pretty hard in this one, where they're... Okay, I think I talked about this during one of the movies. I can't remember which one, maybe Prey, where in my brain, and Predator 2 is the only one that accomplishes this, so I don't know why I think this so strongly. Predators are honorable warriors, kind of Klingon-ish. I'm not super big into Star Trek, but if I understand them properly, where like they want to go into one-on-one battle, they'll kill everything they can, but when they get defeated, they're like, cool, good on you, well played. Like in the end of Predator 2, Donald Glover. It is Danny. Okay. Danny Glover kills the alien or the predator, and like 3 other predators show up, and he's like, ah, crap. And they give him a trophy being like, well done. You beat one of our warriors, be on your way. But in every other Predator movie, they're kind of just sore losers. And in this one, not only are they sore losers, but they like, oh, you won? Cool. Let's kidnap you, bring you back to our planet, and have you fight to the death again. And I kind of just hated that, especially I think it's not like it felt like an end trailer thing, but I think it was actually part of the movie. You can see the woman from Prey is in one of these pods. So we saw.
Naru.
Thank you. We saw in the end credits of Prey that like they come back because obviously they have to get the gun back. So we knew that they must in some way. But now we know that they kidnapped her to potentially put on display for another one of these battles. And if that's the case, why isn't she part of this fight? Why aren't there like 50 people fighting to be the killer of killers? Why is it just the 3 people we just watched?
Well, there is also one of the other Predator movies, because they all have similar titles, that the Predators are splicing genes and making themselves stronger biologically by stealing all the best
Abomination
things.
movie.
Exactly. So maybe that's why all these guys are chrono frozen, so they can harvest some genes from them as well. And then once they do that, they pit them up and take them down. Who knows? I mean, the lore is all over the place. You're not wrong. And I have always enjoyed the Predator 2 lore of, okay, you won. Good on you. We're on our way.
Yeah.
Until we come back for a different warrior someday. I enjoy that because I am a man of honor, or I like to think I am sometimes. And so like that was like the one thing about Predators, like even in Arnold Schwarzenegger, he takes off, drops his weapons, and they go toe to toe at the end, right? Like there is that sense of equal fight. They want a nice, fair battle, and whoever wins.
Until he loses and sets off a nuke.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they can't leave any. There is like a thing of like maybe they can't leave any. They don't want to leave any trace of their technology, things like that. There's ways around that.
Sure,
but the honorable thing it's kind of been broken down throughout the franchise. So I'm like, it is what it is at this point. It's a quick action movie.
There's opportunities to redeem that. They split into 2 factions. The classic faction that seems honorable, and then the new faction that just wants to upgrade themselves. And so they could have a Predator war where humanity gets involved, and that could be really cool. I think there's an opportunity to reboot or at least reassess where they're going with this franchise and get it back on track, because I think most people will agree the Predators, no, it was the Predator. I don't remember what one it was. Couldn't they just give him a number, for crying out loud? That one was just terrible. That was a terrible movie. And if you guys look on our chart, you'll see it was one of the lowest rated in the Predator franchise for us. None of us really liked it, I don't think.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. So I hope they can fix it. So I liked all 3 stories for certain aspects. I did enjoy the aerial combat of Bullet. I just thought it was really cheesy. I thought some of the battle scenes in The Shield reminded me a little too much of Captain America. I mean, it is The Shield, so I kind of got to just take that one. But I liked the gore, like when she kicks that guy and his head slams into the shield and it cuts the top of his head off. It's like, yeah. It was a little over time. But some of the action sequences in that were just so over the top that it was a little bit like, well, I mean, I guess that's why it's, cartoons, because there's no way that's really happening. And then the Samurai Warrior, that was the sweet spot, the sword, where I felt, because of the samurai genre of movie films, you're used to these amazing choreographed fight scenes and stuff. So that was really cool. When he's trying to keep that bell from being rung, that was a masterpiece scene. So amazing. Fun. And then the other guys ring the bell across the way, and he's like, oh.
Yeah. The head nod was just the best.
Drops the bodies on the other guys. Super funny. Yeah. It was a good setup.
That was excellent. So
there was
back and forth with different ones for different reasons.
Now, as the sword, there was very little talking or dialect in that movie. So out of curiosity, what was your take? Why was he breaking in after the master was killed? Was it just to prove to his brother or his friend that he could get to him? Did he actually want to hurt him? Because when he falls, like when the banister breaks and he falls, he looks concerned. He's not like, good, mission accomplished.
My take on that one is that they are actual brothers, or I mean, I guess they could just be real close, but they look very similar. I'm an American though, so I couldn't tell two Asians.
Racist.
But
I'm sorry, I'll take that
just being honest. But so I think that they were brothers, and he simply wanted to go back and prove to his brother that he was capable of beating him in combat. He just wanted to mark his face. And so when his brother fell off the banister, he was like, no, this wasn't my intention. I didn't want to kill him. Although he slaughtered 30 guys getting there.
Yeah.
He didn't want to kill his brother. And so that was kind of my take on that one. And I don't think they spoke at all, except for the dialogue in the beginning and the very dialogue at the end when he says, but you're not alone.
Yeah, you might be right on that.
Yeah, they only talk at the very start and the very end of that segment, that storyline, which I liked. I liked it. I think they told a fine story. That one of all of them, I felt had the best pacing. Also,
agreed.
Because it was a very simple story. You got the setup, you had the time pass, and you knew the brother was coming back to best.
And how much of that story did they showcase without words? That was really cool. I like when they can do that. Just a couple of pictures and a few scenes, and you got the picture.
Yeah, whereas The Shield was great because it was a good opener. There's lots of crazy action, lots of blood. Like, it gets you in, like, oh, we're in it. You know, like, this is the Predator movie we're looking for. But her actions and some of her decisions seem a little bit hasty as well. Like, I'm just gonna go knock on the front door, and like just seems to be over, like she was a predator herself, like overpowered against everybody. Like, it was almost too much, whereas for some reason the ninja seemed more believable because he wasn't killing absolutely everybody in his way. Like, he didn't he did, but there wasn't as many deaths by any means, you know. I just felt like she was
going to murder the entire village. He just wanted to get to his brother.
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't know. I just felt the balance of the sword was in fine balance. There you go.
As everything should be.
They also she fought a huge, gigantic predator, and he fought a predator that wasn't much bigger than him.
Yeah, and there's two of them.
And two of them. I did like the opening scene. They catch the leaf on the two sticks, and in the ending scene,
it lands on
the predator, and they do the same thing, cut him in half with two swords. Yeah. That was really cool. I just think the sword was just so well done. It was just from start to finish, it was well done. I think the shield had a lot, and it was fun, and I think it kind of needed to be over the top, like Will said, to get you in. And then I don't know why the bullet was it was a mess. I just didn't like the bullet.
It was just a little bit of a mess. Anyway, on that note, the sword, the main ninja guy, was played by Louis Ozawa, who was the same actor in Predators, who played Hanzo, the samurai in that movie. Samurai. He was a Yakuza or something. But I just thought that was very cool that he got to come back for another Predator movie and played the voice of one of the brothers. I thought that was really an interesting fact.
Yeah, that was cool. I like that.
This also introduces Michael Biehn to the Predator franchise, which means he now matches with Bill Paxton for being in Alien, Predator, and Terminator. Yeah,
and what's his name? There's three of them now.
Oh, is there?
Why can't I remember his name? I have to find it now. I'm just gonna talk.
So we got Michael Biehn and Bill Paxton are all in
all three movies. Now, Bill Paxton gets to get killed by the Terminator, an Alien, and a Predator.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Michael Biehn, I think I can't remember who Vandy is in this one, but I think that's
he's one of the pilots. So
he's one of the pilots. So he does get killed.
Yeah,
he kind of dies by an alien.
Lance Hendrickson.
He survives the. No, he does die to a Terminator. So yeah, I guess he does die to all three as well.
Okay.
Yeah. He dies to all three. Bill Paxton dies to all three, and Lance Hendrickson dies in all three.
Nice.
So the three actors amongst those three great franchises. I mean, ups and downs, obviously.
Yes, but Bill Paxton also fought Twisters. So
well played.
That's how you get
Yeah,
it.
Michael Bean.
Yeah, I took on nature.
Okay,
Amazing. Amazing.
so Dan, you mentioned you love the look of this film. I thought it was an interesting choice that they did a lowered frame rate on the animations. And my son noticed this right away. And he's like, "Why is the frame rate so low?" And I'm like, "What?" And I was watching it and I was like, "Holy cow, this is like 30 frames per second." You can see the jittering if you pay attention to it.
Mhm.
And it's throughout the whole film. And it's an interesting touch that they put on it. It emphasizes the animation. And I thought it was kind of cool. It was an interesting choice and it worked for me. It makes the cartoon look a little bit rougher, but it was okay. I liked it. What did you guys think about the look of this? Will, we haven't heard from you about the appearance of this animation.
Yeah, so this one kind of falls into, I think the show that popularized it was Arcane, the slower, less frame rate, and they did it a little bit in the Spider-Verse as well. I think those movies or those shows look better than this a little bit. I just think the art side of this one was lacking a little, or it was maybe sparse. So like the lower frame rates, you're not seeing as much, or you're not being able to take in as much details because it's all about this crazy action anyway. You're just there to see all these death scenes. So maybe you don't have to lower the frame rate as much, but I don't mind it overall. I just think it's kind of the in thing right now. So maybe that's why they chose to do it. Maybe the Ninja Turtles as well, maybe has done that. Anyway, there's been a few.
Yeah. I really do like this art style. I think I didn't catch the frames thing, so I might have to go back and watch it, but maybe that's a testament to how good it looks. Like your son had to point it out to you. You have to point it out to me. Like it wasn't like super punch you in the face obvious. I don't really have any complaints with how it looked. Like it had enough detail that you were never questioning what was going on, but it wasn't trying to be super realistic. Because sometimes you get that like, what's the valley? Uncanny Valley, where it just looks wrong. Like this is still like obviously animated,
yeah,
but has like its own style to it. And I thought it looked really good. I have no complaints with it.
On that note, too, this movie was one of the first that was all made animated in Unreal Engine, which is does video games, right?
Interesting.
So yeah, I think there's maybe been a couple other projects, but this one, all like the characters were animated, and then the backdrops were like painted backdrops, not through that. But interesting that video games are just all over the place now, right?
Biggest industry there is in entertainment right now. Okay, so we talked about the look of the film. Let's talk about the toys. The toys that each Predator brought in the Shield. We had a pump action laser stun blaster,
like concussion thing,
concussion thumper thing. Which
thumper,
was
I like that.
Totally, concussion thumper. It was totally new. We haven't seen anything like that in the Predators. They don't normally have energy weapons other than the shoulder cannon. Probably forgetting a few other things, but for the most part, they're usually blades, spears, swords, nets, and stuff. Yeah. We didn't see a lot of other toys in the sword or in the shield, right? Like that was
that's it.
Didn't really need more. That thing was effective.
Yeah. And it ended up killing the Predator and saving her, which was kind of interesting. But it was cool. I like that. And then we move on to the sword, and you've got the spear that splits open. That was cool.
Yep.
He had some explosive darts that he shot out. I think did he have a net or something? He had something.
He had like a chain with like.
He had the chain, which was really cool. And he had little bombs as well because.
Yeah,
I mean, you just realize. I just realized when you were saying that. Like, you're right. Like, all three of them used the Predator's weapons to kill them. Like, they all died by their own weaponry.
Yep. Yes, he put the bomb in the little grappling gun, and it reeled back in and got caught in his sleeve and blew up. And then from there, he was staggered, and they took him down together. And then in the Bullet, we have the spaceship and all of its weaponry, which was completely new. We had the homing pod that shot out a chain that grabbed the heated engines out of the planes, which looked cool, but was almost a little too far out there for me and a little like
it's a pretty weird weapon.
Yeah. That was a little weird, and it seemed to kind of take the fun out of it. It wasn't personal. It wasn't
Nothing about
close.
that last one was personal, right? Like the entire that I think that's why I didn't like it, because it was vehicle combat as opposed to predator combat.
I mean, it was
Mhm.
cool vehicle combat, but it
You're not
wasn't
wrong,
what
but
it wasn't what I was expecting. And then, of course, to have the thing loop around and hit the ship was cool, but totally it didn't make sense physics wise, right? Like,
it was a rule of cool thing. Like it was cool enough that I just went, I'll let it slide. But you're not
Yeah.
wrong. But I was just like, I'm fine. I whatever.
One in a
Yeah.
million.
Once
dog, one in
he
a
climbed out
million.
on the wing, anything's up for grabs.
Exactly.
yeah. Once he got on the
yeah.
wing, I was like, oh, okay, forget it.
Oh,
Yeah.
the big net over the plane and just dicing it was pretty fun too.
That was pretty
yeah,
cool.
the
I
net.
like that.
There was the net
Which-
there, and then he had another one, which was like this whip that wrapped around and like cut the guy's head off and tore his
Yeah,
plane
yeah,
up.
yeah.
It wasn't
Yeah.
a net; it was a different way to cut up a plane. I was like, wouldn't you just use another net? why do we have to have a
No.
different version of the net?
See all of my cool toys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just because it's cool. Just because it's cool. Yeah, I like that. I like that there was each predator was in a different time, so they brought different weaponry. We've always talked about that in the movies as well, being like, oh, this was a fun toy that we haven't seen before, and that's always fun. It just seems that, you know, with this ship thing specifically, I always felt like a lot of the predator tools and weaponry were kind of tribal, kind of high-tech, primitive in a way.
Yeah.
And now they're kind of leaning away from that, and it's just high-tech crazy.
Mhm.
Which is, again, whatever. You have to evolve, you have to make it fresh, but I just prefer high-tech tribal stuff. I like the simplistic weapons because they work. You know, but it is what it is.
When they go down to the Predator planet, they awaken on the Predator planet. The three of them, they're given weapons of their heritage or weapons of their tribe, and the Nordic woman, she gets a battle axe instead of a shield. Later, she picks up, I think it's a scale off of the ground or a piece of metal that she utilizes as a shield.
Yeah.
And so I kind of wish they would have just given her the shield in the first place. That would have been kind of cool. Whatever. And then the samurai gets the sword, and Bullet Boy gets a flintlock pistol, the same flintlock pistol we've now seen in 2 prior movies.
Yeah, why did they give him an airplane?
Or, yeah, an airplane, exactly. I didn't understand why they gave him the flintlock. The same flintlock. Why? Is that supposed to be some sort of Easter egg? It was dumb, and the kid's already handicapped. You're going to give him an even weaker weapon than his opponents? Like,
Yeah, it's like
It's a
doubling
bad
down
choice.
on like, this kid is useless, so we'll give him a useless item, which he
He
does
was-
fix. He fixes it and gets a shot off or whatever.
Sure.
But I think it was like, oh, it's a useless item, so that's funny. It's also a callback, which is funny. And I don't know, Predators messed up. That's funny, I guess. I don't know. It was like a little
He's
bit
the
too
comedic
much.
relief,
Exactly.
right? Like
And
that's
the
all he's
hero.
really there for.
And the hero.
Well,
yeah,
sure.
and the hero.
Yeah.
I thought it was impressive that he not only got it to work, but then like shot the battle axe out of her arms. Like he was just already an expert shot with it. You're like, okay,
The bullet. Yeah.
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 We've never seen him hold a gun up to this point, but sure.
Yeah. Everything to do with Bullet was not for me. Just the whole premise messed up the rest of the movie for me.
I like, how do I word it? I like the aesthetic of his before and after story. Like he's driving down the road and pops a tire, or his engine overheats and he has to figure it out. And then afterwards he's working in the garage and like there's an earthquake or whatever he thinks is happening. Like they weren't enough to save it for me, but I liked those moments as
I can agree with
slow and down to earth as they were. They felt more realistic than anything else he was doing.
Yeah, I didn't really understand the whole take your breath and just feel the engine. I kind of get what they were trying for, but like it just didn't really make a lot of it. It almost felt like he was just trying to calm himself and then things would work. It didn't really feel like he was like listening for the tick in the motor or something.
Yeah.
It was like he would just calm himself and then he'd figure out how to fly an alien plane.
Well, and it could honestly be that is like get outside of your own head, think for 5 seconds, and realize what it is you did. That's not what they portrayed it as.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if that's what you're supposed to take away from that. Because, yeah, I don't think he's actually listening to the engine and being like, oh, that's what's happening.
Yeah. And how is flooding your engine on your plane going to turn it into a bomb? I'd like somebody to explain that one to me. There's
I guess
I-
just, it
a
has
bit more fuel in the cylinders when it
exactly.
smashes open. It's not enough to. I mean, you had an
No big
entire plane
fireball.
smash into the ship, and it didn't even scratch it.
Yeah.
Just the engine is gonna blow up. It was come on. This doesn't make any sense.
Semantics, run. Forget it. Enjoy the ride. I think that was the whole
Yeah.
goal. Just enjoy the ride at that point. But yeah, and that's to me that's the biggest qualm I have with this movie. It starts off high paced, lots of blood and action. It's Predator time, baby. Let's do it. And then you get this cool brother story, and they, come together at the end to overcome the greatest of odds. And then it just kind of nosedives like a beat up fighter jet and just kind of blows up on the screen at the very end. And you're just like, okay, it's a proof of concept. That's the best thing that I heard all night. Thank you for that, Dan. It's a proof of concept that these little vignettes definitely are possible, definitely are intriguing. It just didn't all come together, unfortunately.
It kind of feels like they were like, hey, I want you guys to create several storyboards for Predator movies, and we're going to see what we got. And they pick the best 3 and they put them all up on the wall, and they're like, why don't we just animate it and make it one movie? And then that was it. I was like, yeah, this was 3 storyboards brought to life.
My worry also is that they're going to go what if about this and do like 3 or 4 seasons of just this type of thing. And I think it would kind of get a little tired.
Yeah.
That's what I was just about to ask. Is like, if they made a Killer of Killers 2, would that interest you at all? Or would it just be like, ugh?
No.
You know what?
I would check it out.
It would interest me if it was just 3 stories and none of the extra stuff. Like the finale, cut the whole finale. I don't care. Let's just pop in 3 different time periods. We get a little bit better fleshed out stories.
Yeah.
Some great action, some fun Predator toys. Call it a day. Because that's what we're here for. That's what we're here for.
That's actually my least favorite part. I know I've said this already, but I'm just going to reiterate it. Is the end scene changes the lore of Predators, and I don't really care for that whatsoever. Mm-hmm. Like now we're putting people in cryo chambers, we're keeping them for hundreds of years just so they can fight for some reason. But we're also like, again, because we saw the woman from Prey. I apologize, I've already forgotten her name.
Mm-hmm. Naru.
But she's not a part of this. It's even more like, okay, so what's going on? Like, how many people have actually beaten a Predator and have been saved, and why are they saving them for groups of 3? Like, if she was a part of this, which I wouldn't have liked either, at least you've been like, 4 people have beaten Predators up to this point.
But there was hundreds of chambers.
Well, that's just like, maybe they just captured the whole village and just they take everybody. I don't know.
Well, the other thing is obviously it can't all be humans. There's got to be other alien species in there and things like that, right? Where are those? Put those in the ring, kind of like Predators did, right? In Predators, they dropped everybody in. Yeah. There was aliens, humans, groups of whatever, and they let them all have at her. This one was just like, we were picking these 3 random guys because that's what works for our story. It's like,
and then he's
so
like,
weird.
Y'all are gonna fight to the death, and then the winner gets to fight me. And I would be like, are you kidding me? I can't beat either one of these, let alone you. And then halfway through, the king's like, on second thought, I'm gonna bring in this giant monster to fight against you guys.
Well, because they weren't fighting, right? It was just to get them to go.
The monster was cool. Had the mouth on the back of its head.
Yeah, shoveled them in
with its thing, and then catch him in the back of its head with its mouth. That was I really liked that. It was a whole new, it was wildly different creature that I've seen before. I really like that monster.
I like it when sci-fi creatures are vastly different. They're not just like, oh, look, it's got a horn somewhere you didn't think it would before. Like, it's actually like alien, legitimately alien.
That wasn't a horn, Dan.
Well, then maybe it's exactly where I thought it was supposed to be. Never mind.
I mean, again, if you want to talk a little bit semantics, it would be really hard to live your life with your mouth on your neck above everything. like he has to flick everything he eats from birth. Like it seemed a little odd.
Maybe he's a water-based creature and his mouth is up high so he can like skim the water.
like an upside down whale.
Sure, yeah.
Maybe
But
he
you're
likes
right.
to eat
It
those
looked-
back. I don't know.
It looked cool, and the fun of him flipping things in the air and gulping them down was fun. I just like, again, it feels odd. Like, how does this thing actually live in a world? Like with its mouth over here, his eyes down here, can't
I
see
just-
anything.
You're right. It doesn't make any sense, but it was cool. It was just
Yeah,
cool,
it was fun.
you know?
It was fun, and they made it fun, right? They made it fun. Yeah. All right. Well, what else? You guys got anything else about this silly movie?
Honestly, I don't think that I do, unless you guys have something else you can bring up. Just it was
I was
pretty
gonna
short. It was pretty straight to the point. It was fun. There's not a lot of depth to it. There's not a lot to like really dive deep on, but
Yeah, I
You,
mean
Brian?
they drop some ideas of how the predators' worlds work and how their minds work and what their customs are. Like it or hate it, they presented some stuff.
Yeah.
But aside from that, it's all very straightforward, pretty easy to consume.
Yeah, I think we all could have done without the last 20 or even 30 minutes of the film, and it would have been fantastic. I will say this: I like the sound. The sound of this was great. The music, the sound effects that they had going for this, really good. And you would expect it to be good for an animated film. That's where they can really punch it in, and I think they did a great job on the sound. So that was really good for me.
in fairness, I didn't love the last 20 minutes, but it did give us the cool monster, and it did give us, a Viking versus a samurai, which I haven't seen all that often.
Yeah.
And the King Predator looks
Was
pretty cool,
badass.
right? Like
He looked
Yeah.
badass. He looked
Yeah,
badass. but
I wish he
wasn't-
did anything, but he looked cool.
Exactly. He looked cool, but he didn't act cool. Like, you can give us both.
Yeah.
Now there's I did a little, as I do, roaming around the internet. There are some rumors out there. People are thinking his little cloak of spines or whatever
Yep.
it was. People are thinking those are alien skeletons. Any?
Okay.
Did either of you think of that when you saw it?
I didn't think
Like
alien,
spinal columns?
Like xenomorph, yeah.
like
yeah.
the tail, like the tailbone or something.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
necessarily think straight there, but I definitely thought, okay, this is a mantle of kills that he has acquired, is what I
Exactly.
definitely thought. But no, I didn't really think alien. It would make sense, and that's cool. I think that's great. Remember, aliens are canon in the Predator world, but predators are not canon in the alien world.
Yes, and the next movie is bringing them in as well, right? Maybe not aliens, but the corporations coming into the next movie. The
Wait, what?
Wayland Utah. Yeah,
Wayland Yutani is in Badlands?
Yeah, have you not seen the trailer?
I thought I had, but I don't remember seeing that. I haven't watched the trailer again.
One of the characters is like an android, and you can see the Wayland Yutani symbol in their eyes.
Wow, I'm looking that up as soon as we're done here.
There you go. Yeah, some there you go. Little Easter egg for you. And you see it, I think somewhere on a wall, I think you see the logo as well. So yeah, definitely.
I was gonna
integrating.
do a trailer reaction for it, for Badlands. And then I saw it in the theaters by accident when I saw Thunderbolts, and I was like,
Right.
oh, guess we're not doing that. But I guess I missed that part. So yeah, we're gonna look it up on YouTube when we're done here. That's
Yeah,
cool.
I'm
I don't know what that
curious
means,
if
but it's
the
interesting.
alien Earth is going to have anything to do with predators at all. They're introducing some other creatures along with the aliens, and I'm wondering if there's going to be any kind of even just like little Easter eggs that resemble the Predator universe. So
Yeah, because like through Predator movies, like a lot of them have hinted at aliens, not Alien versus Predator, obviously, but
in the scene behind you, Will, there was featured a skull of an alien.
Yeah, even as far back as Predator 2. Yeah, exactly. So they've been doing it a long time. Alien movies, not so much. So that's fair. But yeah, I'm excited to see how that plays into Badlands coming out in December or whenever it is.
All right, Brian, you get to give this a rating?
Yeah. After talking it over with you guys, my rating didn't fluctuate at all. It might have gone up or down for different reasons, but I ended on the same note. I'm giving this a solid 80 out of 100. And the only reason it gets that high of a rating is because I just had fun watching it. Especially the first two of the trilogy. Those were excellent, as we talked about. I didn't like Bullet, though it was fun to watch. It didn't make any sense to me, and I think they could have done way better, but it was fun to watch. And then the closeout finisher, again, fun to watch. Really cool stuff happening there. Lots to just let my eyeballs soak in. Would have liked a different outcome. Would have liked a lot of different things that made more sense to me and less degradation of the lore that I like. I'm more of the noble warrior stance when it comes to the Predators rather than kind of what stuff we kind of saw in this one. Standout stuff for me, the sound was great. The dialogue or lack of dialogue in The Sword was really cool. I really just felt that one nailed it by showcasing so many deep emotional stuff going on with our main characters without saying any words. I thought that was really cool. The first one, just the things that she said in The Shield just made me laugh out loud, how she was just so violent and ruthless. So that was cool. Otherwise, yeah, it's just solid. It was just fun, and I'm a big fan of the franchise. So I do predict that my score is going to be coming out a little bit higher than the other two guys. What do you got, Phyllis?
Well, you're not wrong. You are just a little bit higher than mine. I really enjoyed this for what it is. It is just, we keep saying it, but it just does feel like a kind of a proof of concept movie, like kind of a storyboard that just got turned into something. But it's fun for what it is. I don't hate the Bullet as much as maybe the other guys did. I didn't love it. It was the weakest of the three for sure. But the other two were so cool that I think it carried it. The last 20 minutes, I had some cool ideas to it. I didn't love the way that it ended, where like they're clearly gonna die because it's one ship versus 40, and they don't really know what they're doing. But so be it. My biggest issue is how this changed the Predator. Like Brian just said, like I for whatever reason, I think of these as noble creatures or honorable warriors, and they are just not. Like every movie we see, they get a little bit less and a little bit further away from that. And I kind of wish they'd stayed as that. I really don't care for the fact that they captured, I'm going to need her name again, but the woman from Prey. Like, I kind of want to see her again because I liked the actress, but at the same time, I kind of thought, like, her story's done. Cool, we can move on. And clearly, with that little Easter egg, they're going to do something with her in the future. And I just think that was unnecessary and just added a piece to the lore that I really didn't need. So that's my biggest takeaway is the movie changed the lore in a way that I didn't care for. But as far as the individual scenes, the shield, the sword, the bullet, they were all really cool in their own way. Showed something we've never seen from this franchise before. And I thought it was fun. Now, is it something I'm going to go back to all that often? Probably not. It is just action for an hour and a half. It's pretty short, but there's not really any character development. There's not any like really cool lines or dialogue or anything that's going to like really draw me back in a second, third, fourth time. There's parts I want to go and check out, but overall, this is a fun one time for me, I think, maybe twice. But I gave it a 76 because I really don't have that many negative things to say about it. Everything in it was pretty cool.
Well, gentlemen, here we are again.
Here comes the real score.
Here comes the real score. So don't worry, chat. I got you covered. You knew you could count on me. This movie is popcorn. It's delight. It doesn't bring a lot to the table, but I feel like, to me, it comes across as a hype movie so that you get excited for the real Predator movie that's coming down the lane. Is that good enough to make it? I guess so. It was fun. It had a lot of fun moments. It was simple. It was, it was just, it knew what it wanted to do and it gave it to you. And then they kind of mucked around at the end being like, oh, what if's this? What if that? And I didn't need that. The biggest thing I missed, which I didn't really mention, was in a lot of the Predator movies, you get humans actually like finding out how the Predator ticks, what they are utilizing and trying to turn that against them. And don't get me wrong, they did use their weapons against them to kill them in this movie, but you just didn't get that feeling of like, oh yeah, they're they're working it out. It's not all about the brawn. It's about the mind. It's about outsmarting and outplaying the predator. And we saw that a lot in Prey. We see it obviously a lot in the first Predator with Arnie. And I just don't feel like they gave us the time to see it in this movie. So I think that was the biggest thing that I felt was missing from this. But it delivered on everything else. It was fun. It was action. You get to see a lot of Predators, fun toys. And so you can't be too mad at it. Overall, this movie is a 78 out of 100, right in between the gentlemen. I gave it the correct score. You're welcome.
I am kind of blown away that I'm the lowest score on this one. I'm not sad about it. I'm just shocked.
Yeah, no. I mean, we're all,
we're all right there with each other. This actually might be our closest grouping of scores.
Within 6, that's pretty good. And I feel like, this rates
within
right
4.
up there. I'd say this rates right up there with Predator 2. I'd say it's pretty good.
I think this is the 3rd/4th best movie in the franchise.
Yeah.
It's definitely top 4. Where it lies in that grouping is debatable. I like number 2 a lot. Most people don't.
Yeah, I agree. It's good. It's fun.
So,
I agree with Dan. Like, it's just like, are you gonna pull this one out every time you want to watch a Predator movie? Probably not. But it is a fun, like, oh wow, I want to see some Predator cool toys in action. Yeah, I'll watch the first half of this movie.
I think you kind of nailed it, Will. This movie is great hype for what's coming down the lane. And it didn't require, I don't know what the budget was, but I have to assume it was minuscule compared to what a live action film would be.
Especially if you want to do this one as a live action.
Right. So I have to assume that they were like, hey, we've got a whole bunch of ideas. Nothing's fleshed out for a full feature except for Badlands, but let's take some of these ideas. We'll hype the franchise with something we can produce that's not going to offend anybody too gratuitously. And that's what they did. And I think we came out with a great popcorn film. If you're a fan of the franchise, you will definitely enjoy this. I did. I'm a big fan of the franchise. Really enjoyed watching this. I watched it twice in the same week, and I don't regret doing it. I will probably revisit this again. Not anytime soon. I had my fill, but I will probably revisit this again.
Well, especially if they do start tying things in from this, right? Like of the Predator homeworld or whatever is going on there. Obviously, there's a lot of interest. And that's the one thing I didn't really say is like, we all love the Predator being this noble, fighter, and they just want to compete against the best. And that's cool. But after how many movies, they do have to evolve and change to keep it fresh. And I understand that. Just will you always enjoy the way they take the direction? Maybe not. And there's some interesting things here. If we could get an animated Dutch coming out of the chamber to fight again, maybe that's cool. I don't know. Maybe people would like to see Dutch going toe-to-toe with another Predator. I don't know. Leading a squad of Predator killers. I don't know.
Did you know Dutch is supposed to have a brother in the behind-the-scenes scheme? Dutch is supposed to have a brother.
Yeah.
In fact, in one of the novels, Dutch's brother was actually a cop in LA or Chicago or someplace, and they have a big Predator fight in the city, which the way that one played out was a better story than Predator 2.
Yeah, sounds like Predator 2, yeah.
But it did seem, it was a little on the nose that it would be Dutch's brother comes in contact with a Predator for no reason. Like it was just
like the coincidence. Yeah.
And it didn't feel right. So I think that's why they maybe changed that to what we got with Predator 2. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't research the films like you do, Will.
Yeah, sometimes hit and miss. But yeah, I don't know. It's a fun watch. It's a fun watch that you don't feel bad about. I don't think anybody would feel bad about watching this. If you're a Predator fan, I think you're gonna enjoy this. Go ahead, enjoy it. But hopefully, it just hypes you for the next one. I think that's what's coming for me. That's it.
Yeah. Dan, you gonna show us some pretty pictures?
Get some numbers.
Oh, damn.
No, I got the numbers. I just need to change the poster a little bit or put them on the poster and be good to go. So just give me a couple more seconds. All of our scores did change, which is kind of cool with that many movies under the belt. I wasn't sure if it would.
I figure it's going to raise the franchise.
It should bump it a little, yeah.
I'm wondering if it's gonna overtake whatever was above it. I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
don't
sure
know.
either.
There's a lot of movies right in that 70 range.
Right. So
Ooh,
it might
it
go up a
jump
point, might go up a
notches or
couple
something.
points. I don't know. It's tricky.
I gotta say though, Dan, having the 200 viewers is nice, but I can't make heads or tails of chat today. There's so much going on in our joint chat over here.
You and everybody else.
Yeah.
I think it's all Marble City over there, but that's fine. It is what it is.
I'm not saying this is what it's going to be every week, but it was kind of a. let's see what
Yeah,
happens.
might as well see what happens. No harm, no foul.
I mean,
Well,
we do basically ignore the chat anyways, but it's been even quieter than normal.
Well,
which
we
don't
don't
love.
ignore the chat. We just don't acknowledge. Like
okay,
I've
fair,
always
fair.
Yeah,
we don't
yeah.
interact with the chat.
yeah.
Exactly. But it is what it is. Do you guys have a time picked out to see 20?
I've already got my ticket.
Nice.
Yeah, buddy. I'm going with a buddy and his wife on Saturday night for the 7:30 show. So
I need to get on that. I need to make that happen.
Find some time.
Really
Yeah.
weird. I think it's weird, Dan. You're sharing with 5 other people, and like the other 4 people all have exactly 190. Yet you were rocking at one point 211 or something. Like now you're at 171, even though they're all still at 190. I don't know if it's just Twitch updates slow or what. But like,
we're just better like that. I don't know what to
I
tell you.
guess.
Yeah, Bendable Straw. Like, so I'm looking at here. Bendable Straws has 154, and then like I've got 22. Dadpool's got 11. Free to Play Frog's got 5. Dirty Dev has 2, and Comrade Red has 2. So like, Bendable Straws is pulling the heavyweight here, and we're just all kind of suckling at his teeth, trying to get partner.
But when I'm looking at like all of my followed channels, because I'm pretty much following everybody that's sharing the stream, and it just shows basically 197 for everybody, and then every once in a while you'll pull out like 11 more viewers for some reason. I don't know why. It's weird.
No complaints. All right, let's see. I would love it. Ooh, maybe that's how we do it. Can we do that and share a screen? All right, so what are your predictions? How high up is this jumping before I show you?
70, I believe it's going to go to 72.
Yeah, it'll go up a couple notches. I don't know if it overtakes anything though, or it might tie, which Dan
I think
loves.
it's going to overtake one movie. Whatever was directly above it, it'll overtake that. That's my guess.
I just don't remember it.
Well, shit, that didn't work at all. You're right. It went up exactly 2 points. Well played. And it went from 70. It went from 70 to 72, which now ties it with the Alien franchise, which is kind of amazing.
My 2 favorite franchises tied at 72. That was my number when I played football, by the way, was 72. So that's really nice. I like that.
Oh, so you're saying it's rigged. All right, cool. Now, at some point, we do have to do the Alien v Predator movies. I think there's 2 of those, right?
Yeah, that's its own franchise. We're not going to let that
no, for sure it is, because that's going to destroy these. That's going to be in the Anchorman territory from what I hear. I've seen the first one once. I've never seen the second one. I've heard nothing good. Yeah,
I think I'm the same. I think I only saw one. I don't know which.
I've seen both several times because I'm a glutton for these franchises. They're not worthy of how many times I've seen them.
Fair. I'm kind of sad that it overtook Mad Max, but I understand it at the same rate.
Well,
only by 1.
I know. They're very close.
If you
very
were to break it down by film, I'm pretty sure that the Fury Road is a better film than any one of the Predators, and probably the Aliens as well.
Maybe. First and second Alien are pretty good.
They're pretty tough to beat.
I'm not going to argue with you on your personal opinions or whatever. I for my taste, there are other movies that I prefer to that one, but I'm not going to argue that it's not well made and it's not very well good.
No, for sure. That's fair.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah,
5,
see, both
6.
Aliens and Predator franchise, I really like 1 and 2 of both of those franchises.
Exactly, yeah.
Unfortunately, in both franchises, there are some films that I absolutely hate.
But they seem to be going like this, and hopefully we're on the upswing now.
Hopefully, because we had Prey, which was a fantastic addition to the Predator franchise.
Yeah.
Now we have Killer of Killers, which is solid, right? For what it is, it's good, and I'm happy about it being a part of this franchise. And then I'm really hoping the Badlands just blows me
Mhm.
away. I really do, and I hope it actually recovers some of. We've talked a lot about the Noble Warrior. I hope it
Yeah.
recovers some of that in some way.
It's
And
possible.
if they could possibly just go back and reboot the Predator one where they get the body armor at the end, like I really hope they just like go back in time and like wipe that away, you know, kind of
Yeah.
like a Deadpool it, just get rid of that.
Yeah, just never acknowledge it. Just let
Just
it.
go back and assassinate him while he's
fizzle
sitting in the
out.
tree at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Whatever happened.
Yeah, and then they're making another Romulus, right? So that's kind of on an upward trajectory as well.
Hope so, yeah. And if they stay away from the hybrid alien monster babies, then I'll be really happy with that too.
And it sounds like maybe they need to separate the TV show from the movies.
I hope so. Yeah, I don't. Everything I read about Alien Earth, like they're always hyped about it. Like the director says this is the best thing he's ever done, and all those kind of claims. Yeah, they always kind of say that, but like everybody that does reviews on it is praising it, and I'm just like, the premise sounds terrible. I don't know how this is gonna work.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, the TV is a different beast, right? If they can play it out with, because they have the time to really let the arcs kind of ebb and flow, they can introduce other creatures and things along the way. We'll see. We'll see.
Oh, thank you, Don, for the shout out. So this is the 6th Predator movie, which ties it for second place for the amount of movies in a franchise we've done with
Alien,
Home Alone.
Oh, great, Home Alone.
Alien is at 7, and this will be at 7 at the end of the year.
There it is. Okay.
So is Badlands going to be strong enough to overtake Alien, because they are tied currently,
right,
by the end of the year?
I mean, we just have to rate it 73 or more each of us, right? And that'll pop it up maybe.
As long as it's a high B to an A, we're in good shape.
Yeah, it's possible.
There are 6 Home Alone movies if you count the shitty ones that forced us to tank the franchise. There are arguably 4 Home Alone movies that I would count, and then there's 2 other ones that just kind of are like straight to DVD bullshit. Yeah. That's a travesty. Yes, that was Run's point entirely. Run had seen them all anyways because his kid loves them, and so we kind of just had to watch them.
I just got tired of seeing that asterisk and Home Alone at the top when I knew that as a franchise,
how bad it actually was.
Absolutely did not belong there. That just killed me.
Yeah,
for sure, it's child abandonment. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good.
So next week we will be reviewing 28 Years Later, and if you're watching this video, it may not be in order of when Dan posts them. I don't know, because I think Dan's going to try and get 28 days, 28 weeks, 28 years later all in a row. Or is that right, Dan?
So 28 days and weeks are both live on YouTube right now, !movies, to go check that out. You can watch those videos. The 28 Years Later, I will try and get out as fast as possible, but because we're not watching it till next Thursday, it won't be till like the Monday after that. So whether I decide to do Killer of Killers right away, which I mean kind of makes sense because it's brand new to Disney Plus, or I go back and do Neverending Story, which I still haven't gotten around to editing, we'll see. But either way, no, Monday will be something else. And then the Monday after that will hopefully be 28 Years Later. Now, the interesting part of 28 Years Later is not only it'll be still in theaters, which is the first time we've done that. So it'll be hard because it'll be a lot of spoilers. But on top of that, I won't have any video footage. So like the video itself will just be whatever I can steal from like the 2 trailers that are out.
Mm-hmm.
Which is maybe going to be
just bring your
it could be a blessing in disguise.
No. We're going to get Will to reenact all the stuff that we need footage for. That's all we're going to do. We have our in-house actor right here.
Wow.
Let's put him to work.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Dan's going to have me editing film. We're going to get Will to act it out.
Yeah, there you go. I'd sign up for that. When is MIP? I don't know if that was actually meant for my chat or somebody else's chat, but it's in my chat. I don't know what MIP is. You mean MIB?
Mission Impossible?
Oh shit, that's gonna be a big one.
Yeah, there's 10, isn't there? No, 9.
This is your question. I believe it was 8 because I said 7 and
That's
Al
right.
said
It's
9.
And then
Yeah.
the 8th one just came out. Is that it? I don't
Yeah,
remember.
8th just came out.
Honestly, there's
as I threw the
8
number out, I knew
versions
it
of
was
the
wrong.
same movie being played again and again and again. It's
I think
same
the
thing.
first 3 are all fairly distinct. And then like 4 through 8 are the same movie. Like they're indistinguishable in my brain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's the problem I was having because we just did movie trivia for Will's show. And I was sitting there and I'm like, okay, I know like 1, 2, and 3, and then like Rogue Nation, Ghost Protocol, and Dead Reckoning. What the heck is the other one? Is there another one? What am I forgetting? And I still can't get it. I still have no idea what the other one's called even. But like if you were to ask me, like, gun to my head, which is the one where he's hanging outside of a building? Which is the one where he's in a dust storm? Which is the one where he's on a plane? Like, I have no fucking idea. They're the exact same movie.
Well, the one where he's hanging off a plane is 1 through 8. But I mean,
well, no, but that's what I mean. Like 1, I can definitively tell you one, like the action sequence in it, where like the elevator that kills Emilio, or the him hanging by a wire doing this thing.
right.
Like those are so distinct.
room
And then
that
2
has-
is John Woo. It's just insane.
The first,
Like the first
I
3
gotta
feel like
say,
separate movies, and then after that, it's just like Tom Cruise. Sorry, go ahead.
they
I'm
drop
stepping all
him
over you.
down into that silo, and he stops at the bottom with the string, and I'm like, wow, they have all these different things that will figure out if somebody's in the room, but no motion detector.
yeah.
Like, what-
Not the
like,
simplest
How
of
does
ones.
it have motion detectors? Like it's the
Yeah.
most basic one. That's the one they don't have. Okay, whatever.
Yeah. No, it's silly, but it's fun. And like that was like a cultural milestone at the moment when they did that. Like that, I remember that being everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
that
yeah,
is
yeah.
huge, that scene. Lots of memes and gifs on that.
Yeah.
All right, you gonna
All
close us out, Dan?
Yeah, I think we'll call it a night. It's already 10:30, and I actually have an early morning, so I'm gonna probably getting out of here pretty quickly. I will say, I don't know why, just randomly. Will, you're gonna be playing potentially Prop Hunter tomorrow night, right?
Yeah, I
And-
think Roe of Gilead wants to play Prop Hunter tomorrow, so I'm going to jump on that for a little while at least.
So somebody in my chat mentioned that it's actually free on Game Pass. So I've downloaded it on my Xbox because I really wanted to try that game mode, but I wasn't willing to spend $80 for it.
Yeah.
So I have that ready to go, and depending on what my evening looks like, I might jump on with you guys as well, which would be amazing.
Yeah, sounds good.
But also, I've been really looking into Dead by Daylight recently, which I think Will you own, and I think Bubba Hotep bought for you. Is that right, Brian?
Yeah, Bubba Hotep bought it for me. I need to install that and give it a go at some point. A little fanboy here. I've been falling asleep to Cleaning Agent stream quite a bit lately. I've been coming in and hit lurk, and people like say something to me, and I'm like, I don't even want to talk. I just want to sit.
I just want to hear his
and
soothing
just
voice.
Watch things happen. It's
Is that a
been,
compliment or an insult? I'm not really sure.
no, I don't know
both.
why. I find Cleaning Agent streams to be so soothing and entertaining. It's whatever I want it to be every time I'm there. I can either jump in and get involved or just sit back, but I always find it very enjoyable. It's a great place for anybody to go. So definitely check out Cleaning Agent because Lord knows I'm not doing anything these days.
You're working.
Dan, you cut back from 17 YouTube channels to 1 or 2, right?
Technically, I went from 4 to 3, and I am very, very close to going from 3 to 2. That's probably the lowest that I'll go because then I've got a gaming one and a movie one.
Mhm.
But we'll see. I mean, as of right now, I know what I want to do with the gaming one. It's just a matter of finding the time to actually do it, and that's proving tougher than I would have loved.
Yeah.
The movie channel is going strong, though. The R rating is coming out pretty much every week. Sometimes it's on Tuesday instead of Monday, but so be it.
That's usually YouTube's fault for blacklisting you for some stupid reason.
Well, it only blacklisted me once, which was really, really unfortunate.
Mhm.
And this week, I don't know if you've seen it. I put that little like disclaimer at the beginning of the
I
episode.
did see that. Yeah.
Not even a copyright strike. Like sometimes it'll be like copyrighted, but it'll still let it come out. And sometimes it'll be like blocked in certain areas. The one episode was just banned entirely, just straight up. They would not allow it anywhere in the world. I put that little blocker in front. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I'm like, oh shit, this works. All right, cool. So that's gonna be in front of every episode from now on.
That's funny.
That's cool. I'm glad you got that worked out.
Yeah. And
Well,
I'd
more-
love to get some Dead by Daylight in at some point with you guys.
Yeah,
where
we should
actually
do that.
going with But
Yeah, absolutely. That game's supposed to be super fun. So With the
I've
group, it
been
will
so it's
be
also got
hilarious.
drops on right now, which I've been like watching at work, not really paying attention, but just kind of having it on in the background so I can pick it up. But
Oh,
anyways,
Dead by
I
Daylight
can do
has
this
dropped?
shout out, and then we can hang around or take off or whatever we're doing. What's this called? Killer of Killers. All right, and that was our. All right, that's our rating of Killer of Killers. But what's yours? Leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. We record this live over at twitch.tv/The Mongoolie Show on Thursday nights at 9 p.m. So if you want to head over there, hit the follow button. You can hang out with us live as we're recording this. We don't interact with the chat, but we do read all of it, or as much of it as we possibly can while recording. Or if you made it this far in the video, consider hitting like and subscribe so that I see you in the next one. Sorry, Wonderful D, none of those are turned on at the moment, so you couldn't interrupt me, although I saw you try.
More importantly, next Tuesday, I'm going to a little restaurant called Con Dog, which is Korean hot dogs.
I'm sorry, condom?
Con Dog.
Dog. Oh, sorry, I heard Dom, and I was like, why are you saying it weird, Will? Just
Yeah,
say
yeah.
we're eating this Tuesday.
Yeah, Korean hot dogs. So it looks like it might be a ball. It might be something weird. So I'm pretty excited about that. But I'm gonna stay starting stream early because they close at like 8 o'clock my time. So I'll probably be streaming like 6 o'clock Eastern on Tuesday. So that should be fun.
Are you able to answer me what makes a hot dog Korean?
I'm gonna
Or I guess you'll tell me on Wednesday.
I have no idea.
You know what? I've made one racist comment already. I'm just gonna abstain. I'm sorry.
Good call. I think that's probably for the best.
Yeah.
In fairness, your comment wasn't racist. I think I was the one that called you out on that. I should be like, oh, I don't know. Maybe that was uncalled for,
dude.
dude.
Out of there. I don't come in contact with a lot of Asians. I was just being honest. I don't have anything against Asian people. Just saying. But
sorry,
yeah,
you legit. Do you want me to like get rid of that little bit?
I'll leave it up to you guys. I don't know. I don't want to offend anybody. That's the last thing I want to do. And if you guys think it's going to be offensive, please.
I mean, I would be shocked if anybody actually finds that offensive.
I don't want to bother anybody.
Yeah, I don't think what you said was
shocked if somebody on the internet finds it offensive.
Yeah.
Come on.
Okay, fair. I'd be shocked if anybody I give a shit about finds it offensive.
2 people unfollow you the moment I said it.
That's funny. Cool. Well, thanks for the chat, gentlemen.
Yeah, that was another good one. I'm gonna head inside, and I think I'm gonna get some sleep. That's probably what I need most. So I will catch you all later. Bye, chat. Whether there's 11 of you or 211 of you, I don't know.
So I'm looking at Twitch, and I've got 24, and then shared 211, and then on Restream 29. So I mean, God knows what's happening.
And
it's all
like 2 on YouTube.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Thanks, YouTube, for coming out. Thanks, Screen Tucking.
Have a great day, Will. Brian, this Sunday the next 6 Sundays I've got dog lessons. So we either need to find a different time to do Split Fiction or wait 7 weeks.
Okay, we'll figure something out. We'll make something happen. I'm trying to move my schedule around a little bit more because Bubba Hotep wants me to take a stab at editing some of his videos. So I'm going to try and get some time in my schedule to be in studio, though I won't be live for that.
Very cool. All right. Cheers. I'm going to find someone to raid out to and call it a night as well, as I do have an early start. So probably
Thanks,
just
chat. Later, everybody.
You know what? I think Dadpool's part of this chat too. Let's head him over to him. Keeps it going for everybody.
Get some Dadpool love in there.
Do you have any idea if you're doing anything other than Prop Hunt tomorrow?
I know Hunt Showdown just got a big update, like an overhaul. So there's like an event running with that. So I might jump on there. I mean, we just kind of go where the night takes us, though. Let's be honest. I don't really plan anything unless it's getting weird food in my body.
All right. We have rated